Hi friends, Tracy.bish here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. Welcome to Halloween Spooktacular. This is week 6 and this is our card for this week. I'm super excited to share this one with you. This is an amazing card, I love it. It does fold flat to go in an envelope, and I just think it is gorgeous. So lots and lots of fun, this one. I think it's called a tower card, so there's lots of die cutting. We're going to get right into it, but before we do, let's have a look at the supplies that we're using. So I'm using the Fright Night bundle. This is an online exclusive available now in my online store, and I love this one. I was a little iffy about the stamp set, honestly, when it first came out, but I knew I wanted the dies, and if you get the dies, you might as well get the stamp set and save yourself 10%. And I knew that I would be able to interact with these because these two stamps go with the label die there as well. So Fright Night is an online exclusive. I'm also using the Spooktacular Halloween DSP. I have 2 pieces here that have been cut already, and they actually measure 1 5/8 by 5 inches actually. So there we go. Or you could, cut one piece and then chop it in half, whichever you prefer. I also have 4 pieces of basic white cardstock. This measures 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 and is our matting for 2 of our pieces, and then for the back of the card where we're going to be stamping and adding the layers. And then we have a piece of basic black cardstock. This is for the base of the card. It measures 9 1/2 by 5 1/2, and we're going to be scoring that again really soon. I've also got some scrap pieces here. I have a big sheet of basic black because we have lots of die cutting. I've got a sheet of basic white thick cardstock and also the pumpkin pie cardstock. This is actually huge because I only need a banner, but it is what I grabbed out of my scrap bin. So welcome. If you're here watching the premiere, I'm in the comments section or the chat section. Come and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you've been, watching this whole season or series. What else? Yeah, and if you're not watching in the premiere, please just pop in the comment section and let me know that you're watching. So I'm going to do a little bit of die cutting first. So let me grab that die set. And we're going to grab out some of the things that we need. So I've got the INKY. You could change it around and do boo if you would like on a different card. We have our little spider. I'm also going to need the cobwebs, the label die, and then these 2 here as well. Now before we, I'm just trying to think, I really wanted to die, but I've got a couple of things that I've got to stamp first, so we might actually do that. I'm going to actually be stamping both of these. So let's get those 2 out. I'm actually going to be bringing in my Misty machine, which is a stamp positioning tool, just to make it a little bit easier for me as well. So the inks that we're using are Memento Tuxedo Black ink as well as Pumpkin Pie. And I do need to grab that really quickly. This stamp here is what we're going to be stamping in Pumpkin Pie ink. So I'm just going to line this up. This is a little narrow strip that I have here, so I want to make sure that it fits well so I can die cut it. That looks good. So let's pick it up, pick the stamp up. Easy. Okay. And just so we can see what I'm doing here, let me grab and move everything over just slightly. There we go. I'm going to use the Pumpkin Pie ink and make sure I have a good image stamped here. That looks good. And the great thing about a stamp positioning tool is if you don't get a good clean image first go, as long as everything stays in the same position, you can come back in and add another layer of ink. Or in my case with Memento, I come back and probably do it at least 3 times. My good friend Rachel said the other day maybe I need to re-ink my memento, and she may be right. Have I done it yet? No. Cool. Okay, so we have a good image there. I'm going to move this over a little bit, and I do need to clean my stamp before taking that off, because we're going to move over to that other stamp that comes in this set. Just using baby wipes to get that ink off. And we'll bring in this other one. Magnetize it, pick up the stamp. And then I need my memento. And this stamp's actually not meant to be completely black. It does have areas that are not going to pick up the colour on purpose. But as you can see, that is way too light. So we are going to do it again. And then maybe again, like a third time. Yeah, one more. Let's do one more. And then that should be fine. I really only want the little images here. So that's good. All right, again, clean off my stamp and move my Misty away. Now I can bring my die cutting machine. We're going to do lots and lots of die cutting. Let's move this out a little bit. So I don't need to die cut this top one, but I do need to do the bottom one. So that's the smallest of the two labels, like that. Okay. Pumpkin pie, we do need our little label. And I'm going to run that one through. Wasn't the very best cut, but that's okay. We can keep moving with that one. Then with our basic black, I have the larger of the labels. I'm also going to need, how many? 6 of these cobwebs, so we're going to have to go through twice. Oops. I'll need INKY, as well as our little spider. So we'll get that in there. Run this one through. These out. Now the INKY is actually one die cut word, which I love that they've done that. Didn't die cut properly. Right on the very edge, so I probably should have cut my paper down a little bit. So I'm going to actually cut this away. See if I can run that through again really quickly. Can you see that? The K didn't cut out very well. That worked better. I'm going to run through our 3 cobwebs again. First of all, pulling them out of each die. It's hard to say which set I like best because I really do love the dies in both sets. Let's see if we can run this through again. Get a good cut. Not sure where I take my pick tool. Oh, there it is. Let's grab that because it's going to make a lot easier. I just want to grab all my dies and put them on my magnetic sheeting. Make sure I don't lose any. All right. So there are a few left here, so we're just going to quickly do a quick poke through. And what I might do, so you can look at the card, let's bring that in as well. So we do have a die brush for all these little pieces. I believe it's still in the annual catalogue, but you can see it in the online store as well. If you do lots of die cuts and you want to make quick work of pulling all these little pieces out. I don't think it takes that long, but so we're at week 6. I'm at the point now where I'm obviously filming ahead, but I have no idea what week 6 3D project is, which you would have already seen because the 3D comes on Tuesday and the card comes on Friday. So let me know, did you like Tuesday's project? I've actually got a few different ideas, but I'm sort of struggling because I said 5 or 6 weeks and I've got lots of ideas that I want to do, but you know, I'm getting down in time. So I'm struggling to choose which one I want to do. Hope that makes sense. Which is a good to be. Like, it's a good place to be in where you're struggling to choose which one you want to do. I'm not struggling for ideas. I've got lots of ideas. I just don't know which one to go with. Looks a little mess here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, do we have 6? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have that I didn't cut out all that well, but it will be fine. We have our INKY. We have our little black spider. We have our black layer. So this one here, and our little banner. we have our whole layer here, and I'm just going to quickly fussy cut the 4 little images on here as well, so this won't take very long. Talk amongst yourselves. So we have a bat, we have a black cat, almost said sorting hat. I am watching Harry Potter for the very first time. This is a Monday that I'm actually filming this, but on the weekend, my husband and I watched the first 2 Harry Potters. Now, my husband has seen them. I have not. Yeah, we sort of struggled with what to watch, and my daughter just kept harping about how good it was, so thought we'd give it a go. And yeah, actually the 2 that I've watched so far haven't been too bad, so that's fun. So it's a sorting hat, but a witch's hat. I suppose a sorting hat is like a brown colour. This is black, so it's more of a witch's hat. We have our little black cat. There she is. And do you call them crows or ravens? I don't know whether, is there a difference? There probably is. One's probably bigger than the other, but I don't think that here in Australia we get ravens. I may be wrong. Let me know. But we do get lots of crows around our area here, so. And we've got a church next door to us that doesn't get used anymore. It's actually like a person's weekender. And there's always crows up on the roof, which our dog Riley just absolutely hates. So she barks until they go. So I'm going to call this a crow, but it could be a raven, I'm not really sure. Okay. What else do we need to do? I think they're all good. Let's make our card. So I do have the card base here. We're going to do some little scoring for that. No room as usual. So what does it measure? 9.5 by 5.5. We're going to score at 2 1/8. And that's pretty much each side of the card is 2 1/8. So 4 1/4, 6 3/8, 1, I struggle with this in between here. So let's hope that was the right mark. And 8.5. That gives us a 1 inch section on the end. Now before I go any further, let me make sure that that is correct. I did make the right mark. Whew. All right. Let's use our bone folder and quickly burnish all those sections. And we're just going to add tear and tape to the side here to pop it all together. How simple is this card? So simple. It's all about the decorations, honestly, really. It's what makes the card. So let's fold that down on top of each other. Perfect. Love it. So folds down really nicely. It's going to be the back. All right, so let's grab our other sections as well. Here they are. I'm going to add these 2 DSP layers down onto the basic white, just with some liquid glue. I'm going to be sticking these to the front of the card base. And if your DSP has like a pattern, you want to make sure that you're cutting from the same section, so it'll go this way. So this will be on the right hand side, this will be on the left. So it has sort of that continued look. Now if it's just a random pattern, it won't really matter, but, and I suppose, you know, in the whole scheme of it, you probably won't really even notice anyway, but you're just doing yourself a favor if you do it that way. Okay, so let's add this down to the card base, and then we're going to change gears and we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So 1 and 2. So there's 2 of our layers ready to go. Move that to the side. Got these ones. Let's see. I need the Happy Halloween. The little, I don't know, to me they sort of look like spiders, but they're little twinkles maybe, I don't know, little stars. We're going to be using those as well. So Happy Halloween is 1 stamp. So we're going to make it easy for ourselves, and we will actually stamp it twice and be really careful while we're doing that. So pumpkin pie, I'm just going to ink up the happy. And I can stamp that on 1 piece. This sentiment has like a curve to it. I do need to clean that stamp. And you want to make sure you clean it really well. Otherwise you're going to be stamping that happy sentiment down again. And I like to just make sure I get anything up and off that stamp before using it. And then this time we're just going to ink up the Halloween. You could also use a post-it note. That would work as well. Cute, cute, cute. All right. I'm going to use basic black now and just add those little sparkles, or to me I think, you know, from a distance it does look like little spiders. So that's what we're going to call them this time round. Why not? And I just want to do around the top and the bottom as well. So just sort of random stamping. So around the top and bottom. Perfect. Now we're going to add those to the back of the card. So again, just some liquid glue. You could use DSP all the way around. To me, I think You really do need somewhere to write your card. So the back of it makes perfect sense. And we have our little spider here somewhere. Let's grab it. I'm just going to pop that down. So freaky. It's a great little spider. Okay, now we can start adding all our layers. Now I don't have my piece of basic white, but I'm thinking this leftover bit is going to do the trick really nicely. So I just need to use my paper trimmer to nice up these edges because they do not look very nice. This was just a bit of scrap in my scrap bin. I think that's a little bit too long, so let's get rid of that excess bulk. Like that. Okay. Now we're going to pop the spider webs underneath these two layers here. So I'm going to add, let's grab some Seal Plus. And we can add that. I'm going to start with the center one. And then that way these ones will just butt up next to them. And it's sitting nicely in that little trail of tear and tape. No, sorry, Seal Plus. Doing the same on the other side. I think this one needs to come back a little. Like that, yeah. Last one. I'm not happy with these placement. Yeah. Why can't I get them to match up better? Sometimes you just have to play with things. That I like better. Okay, we can pop this one up with dimensionals. Gonna need a new pack out. Cut these ones down. I go through so many dimensionals. One of my favorite actual adhesives. So you just want to make sure that all your adhesive bits are in the hidden areas. That works well. Just quickly take our backings off. I'm going to pop him down on our black layer, nice and central. Okay, well, let's glue our INKY sentiment down. It's just on our white layer. I just pretty much free cut that. It's about 2 inches by 1.25, somewhere around there. That one doesn't want to work. I think I had left the lid off sitting on my desk for a little while. So I'm going to attach this piece behind the sentiment piece, just adding a little bit of adhesive there. Nice little pop of pumpkin pie. Whoop. Give it a minute, well, not even a minute, but give it a couple of seconds for it to dry, Tracy, before you're picking it up. And we're going to pop this one up with dimensionals. Right in the center. Doesn't that just pop? Really pretty. And then we can just add our 4 little images down with some more. I'm going to cut these down. These are fairly small images here, so you just want to make sure that they're nice small bits that are not going to be seen. And we can pop them down. Oh, I didn't do a very good job cutting that out. That's better. Okay. And lastly, we're going to add these little pieces here so it can actually fold down really easily. That folds up as well. So, as I don't have them ready to go, let me grab my trusty ruler. These are going to be 1 inch by 1.5, and let's grab some black cardstock. So 1 inch by 1.5 by 1.5. And then we're just going to score them in half. So 1.5 inches in half is 3/4. So 3/4 of an inch. It's going to give us our 2 little tabs on either side. And as you can see, we're actually sticking them to both the card front and our label. So I think for this I'm going to use tear and tape because This will give me a nice strong hold without having to hang on to it. And you want it about halfway, so, and lining up with that score line. So about there. Let's line up the other one on the other side. Yep. Just making sure. Be bad if I put it down and that was wrong. So just a couple of strips of tear and tape, and then we're going to line this up with the center as well, like so. So we have our little tabs like that. Then I'm going to add tear and tape to these tabs as well, and that's going to adhere to our little label. Make sure you pop it in the center, press down, and then you can just sort of open it and make sure it's nice and secure. There we have it. That is a little tower card. Now you can grab some of those beautiful foam star stickers, which I'm going to do that. Let's add a few down. And you can see whether you'd like it plain or with these stickers. Everything's good with stickers. So I'm going to use the black ones. Let's get another one there. And I think just a little bit of extra sparkle and shine. Looks good without it, but jazzes it up a little bit as well. So there we have it. What do you think? A cute little tower card for Halloween. Plenty of room to write. Will go in a card, in a card. I've said it again. In an envelope. What a fun little idea. So this is week 6, our card version. I really hope that you have enjoyed this Halloween Spooktacular. I have so enjoyed bringing this to you, so I really hope that you have enjoyed it. Maybe, what do you think about maybe doing a Christmas version? I don't know. We might do the weeks of Christmas again. If that's what you're interested in. But I just love this card. I think this is so great. If you haven't emailed me to ask for a card yet, please email me. I do have quite a few cards that I'll be sending out to my friends overseas that celebrate Halloween. But if I have left over, I will happily send one out to you. So yeah, send me that email and let me know your address. All right. Thank you so much for spending a bit of time with me today. This has actually been a fairly long video, so I do appreciate you spending a bit of time with me today. But yeah, I'll be back with a video really soon for you. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do that. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. And if you would like any of the products that I've used on the Halloween Spooktacular or this card here, you can purchase them in my online store as well. So there is a link in the description of this video, and I'll try and pop it up on the screen as well for you. All right, everyone, enjoy your wonderful weekend. And actually, no, this is Tuesday, so you won't be having a weekend. enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye bye.